one more channel. So I think we have stopped at contact forces and non-contact force. We were discussing that. So that chapter is your force and pressure. Force and pressure. Okay. And in forces again we have two types of forces: contact and non-contact forces. So contact force, already you studied. Muscular force is one of the contact force. Means when you say contact force, there is two objects are in touch with each other, then only there is a contact force will take place. Okay. And even frictional force also a type of contact force where two bodies will be there, but the motion of the object is in opposite direction of the friction is the motion of the object in opposite direction. Okay. Then contact force, I told that there are two objects, but non-contact force here, even though two objects are there, but without contact, they will exert force on each other. Okay. So examples for them is magnetic force, electrostatic force, and gravitational force. So we'll discuss with some examples, it will be little clear for you. Okay. See, you take two pair of magnets. Okay. So place the longer side of one of the magnet over three round shaped pencils. So take two magnets. Okay. And what you do, bring one end of the other magnet near the end of the placed roller. So you take a roller like this, scale. Roller in the sense scale only. Okay. You take a scale, or you can take pencil, 1, 2, 3 pencils, and over that you keep one magnet. This is magnet. Okay. And you put a rubber band to this pencils and all. Okay. But you should make sure that these magnets will not touch with each other. You keep one more magnet nearby that, and there should be a distance. Okay. So what you do, just when you move this magnet, this is magnet 1, this is magnet 2. Okay. And you know very well there is north pole and south pole to the magnet, north pole and south pole. Okay. If there is north and south in the opposite direction, then they will attract. Okay. This already you know in the class 6 you have studied. Okay. So when you bring a magnet near to one more magnet without touching, keeping little far, after few minutes they will attract with each other. Why? Because there is the force of attraction if the poles are different, north and south. Different poles means, what is the law of magnetism is, like poles, if called like poles means repel. Means these are called poles, north pole, south pole, north pole, south pole. If there is south and north, then they will attract. So unlike poles attract, like poles repel. So this is magnetic law or law of magnetism. Okay. Here, if there is north and north facing each other, then there will be no attraction, because there is repulsion. Okay. So attraction or repulsion between objects can also be seen another form of push or pull. It is like push or pull only. Suppose you bring two magnets very just to keep near only, even though there is a distance, but after some time they will attract each other because of opposite poles. North and south pole will attract. But if you turn this way like this, suppose if you turn like this, if this is north, this is south, north, then they will attract. If there is south here, they will repel. But this all will take place by the help of one force where the magnet exert on another magnet. Okay, so the force exerted by a magnet is an example of non-contact force. Without touching also you will exert force, so such a force is called non-contact force. Okay, so magnetic force also is also a non-contact force. Okay, one more example I will give. Okay, in your book they given already. You take a straw, take a plastic straw and cut into two equal pieces. Take plastic straw, cut into two equal pieces. Okay, then suspend one of the piece from the edge of the table with the help of a piece of thread. So it is given in textbook. You can go through it like this. You can check it. Now hold the other piece of straw in your hand and rub it with free hand with a sheet of paper. You take the straw. I think straw means the one which you will use for drinking juice and all. Just to rub with the paper and bring that straw near the what? One more straw which is tied to the table. So what means there? Here what changes take place? They will see. If you rub, then they will attract with each other because there is a straw is said to be acquired electrostatic charge after it has been rubbed with a sheet of paper. If you rub this paper, with sheet of paper, what happens? It will get the charge. So due to its charge, it will attract the straw which is tied to the table. Okay, means so between these two stars also there is a force. Means the force exerted by a charged body. This is called charged body. Okay, on charged or on uncharged body is called electrostatic force. Electrostatic force, even though they are not touching each other, the force will come into effect if you bring a charged body near the uncharged body, or if it's bring uncharged body to the charged body. Okay, so electrostatic force, magnetic force is a type of example for non-contact force. Okay, then this you might have experienced most of the time. Okay, see, you know that a coin or a pen falls. Suppose you take pen, pencil, eraser or ball, whatever you throw it up, it comes down. Okay, and even see, leaves and fruits on the trees, they are there, but when they will fall down, they will fall down because okay, see, so there will be leaves and fruits on the tree. Okay, so they will fall to the ground when they get detached from the plant. But why it happens? It is a wonder, no? Why these fruits or leaves will not move upwards? Why they will come towards the earth? So when the coin is held in your hand, it is at rest. If you hold a coin in your hand, it is at rest. Okay. As soon as you release it, it begins to move downwards. Suppose you open the hand, just you throw it, it moves down towards the earth, but it will not fly. Okay. It is clear that the state of motion of coin undergoes a change. So when the coin is kept on your hand, it is at rest. But when you release, it will change its position. It will move from one place to other place. It is in motion. Okay. So can this happen without a force acting on it? So is it possible just if you take coin and leave like this, it will come down, it will move towards earth? Is it possible? Is it possible any force is there? Or without force only it is moving? Okay. Then there is a force, because without force nothing can move away or move from any part. Okay. So objects or things fall towards the earth because it pulls them. The earth pulls the object towards it. So this force of pulling of any object towards itself, towards earth, is called force of gravity or gravity. So this is an attractive force. Gravitational force is also attractive force. The force of gravity acts on all objects. All objects, the force of gravity acts. Okay. The force of gravity acts on all of us all the time without our being aware of it. Force of gravity also act on us, but without unaware. When we are not, even though it is acting on us, we are not aware of that. Okay. So water begins to flow towards the ground as soon as we open a tap. When you open a tap, water moves towards the ground. Water in rivers flows downward due to force of gravity. Water in the river also moves downwards to the gravity, not upwards from the gravity, because that force is attracted by a gravitational force. Then what is actually gravity? Gravity is not a property of the earth alone. You don't think gravity is only related to earth. Gravity is not the property of who? Earth. Is not the property of then whose property it is? Okay. In fact, every object in the universe, whether it is small or big, exerts a force on every other object. Each and every object, whether it is small or big, each and every one will exert force on each other. So this force is known as gravitational force. It's a gravitational force. So we have three types of forces: non-contact forces, that is magnetic force, electrostatic force, gravitational force. And most of the non-contact force are useful and applicable to the daily situation. Okay. So after learning about force, there is one more technical term which you have to learn, that is called pressure. Both force and pressure are interrelated. There is a combination of force and pressure. How they are related? What is the use of learning about pressure? Okay. See, you have learned in class 7 that strong winds during a storm or cyclone can blow away even the rooftops. You know very well. Whenever there is a strong wind or cyclone, so you are learning about the pressure. Okay. So whenever there is a cyclone or storm, or we can say strong wind, okay. So what they will do? They will blow away, they will remove the rooftops. They will blow away the rooftops if it is a sheet one or metallic sheet. You also learned that winds and cyclones are caused by differences in air pressure. How the winds and cyclones are caused? Winds and cyclones are caused due to what? Difference in air pressure. Difference in air pressure. Then what is air pressure? Then what is in general pressure? Okay. So is there any relation between pressure and force? We will try to find. Okay. So try to push a nail into a wooden plank by its head. You take a nail. Okay. You take a nail and try to push. Okay, children. Now what we'll do? You try to push a nail into a wooden plank by its head. This is a nail. And you try to push with what? To the wooden plank by its head. Suppose you assume this is a hammer. Then you just put it, it will not fix. Okay. So did you succeed for fixing this? Suppose here also take. This is sharpened, this is blunt. If you put this will not go inside the what? Wall or wooden plank. Okay. Try now to push the nail by the pointed end. Suppose now what you do, if this is blunt, this is pointed, just to take this and just fix here. It will fix. Okay. Again one more example. You try cutting the vegetables with a blunt knife, the knife which is blunt. And if this is, you think this is as blunt knife, and you think this as a vegetable or fruit. This I cannot cut because blunt end will not exert any force here. Okay. Just turn it, and if the end of the knife is sharp, easily we can cut. So did you get the feeling that area over which the force applied the pointed nail? Just you check it here. Okay. So pointed nail, this is a pointed nail. You see the area. This area is bigger, this area is smaller. Okay. So if the area is bigger, if you put pressure on that, it will not go because the end is blunt. If there is sharp end, and the area at the tip of the nail of the sharp end is very small. Okay. So since the area is lesser, just to beat with a hammer, it will fix because the force is concentrated on a particular place. Okay. Now that's what I told. If this is a nail, okay, if this is a sharp end, this is a blunt end, you can, because all the force when you take a hammer and beat over here, all the force is concentrated only on this part. That's why it will go easily in the wooden plank. But instead of that, if you turn this and if you try to fix with this blunt end, it will not go because area is bigger. Area is bigger and there is no place of concentrating force in a particular direction because it is wider area. All the force is distributed in equal parts. That's why it will not fix to the wooden plank. Okay. Then what is force? Force acting on this area. This is, you are applying force here. This force on this particular area is called what? Is called pressure. Okay. So the force acting on an unit area of a surface. This is a surface. The definition is very simple. The force acting on an unit area, the force acting on a unit area of a surface, area of a surface is called pressure. So mathematically or formula you can write pressure is equal to force per unit area. Force per unit area on which it acts. Area on which it acts. So there is relation between force and pressure. For P is equal to F by A. Okay. So at this stage we consider only those forces which act perpendicular. So when you took a nail and tried to fix here, because a surface is straight and your force acting is in perpendicular direction. Okay. So we are considering what? We are considering the force which is acting perpendicular to the surface. So when the force acts perpendicular to the surface of area, such a force is called pressure. Okay. So there are many examples. See, potters. There is a box, you can read it. I now understand why potters place a round piece of cloth. Suppose there is a potter says coolie only. That coolie people will put a round piece of cloth over their head and they will keep the luggage, suitcase and above that one more load. Okay. So when they have to carry heavy loads, by doing this they increase the area of contact. So if the area of contact is more, then the pressure on the head is reduced and they find it easier to carry. Okay. So that's why I say if area is more, then they don't feel heavy because the force acting will be reduced. Okay. Then note that the area is in the denominator. Area is in the denominator in the above expression. Area is at the denominator here. Area is here. Okay. So the smaller area, larger the pressure on the surface of the same force. If area is small, what happens? The smaller the area, if the area is small, the larger pressure on surface for the same force. Smaller the area, force will be the larger. Okay, the area of the pointed end of the nail is much smaller than that of its head. I told the area of pointed head is very small, very less compared to area of a blunt end. That's why it exerts pressure, because the force is concentrated on a smaller area. So smaller the area, larger the force and easier the work. So the same force therefore produces pressure sufficient to push the pointed end of the nail into the wooden plank. So this force, suppose you take this blunt end and try to beat with a hammer, you have to apply more force. But after applying more force also, it will not go inside, it will not fix to the plank because area is larger. Suppose if you take this sharp end and just beat 1 or 2 times, 3 times, it will fix easily because the area of contact of pointed end is lesser. So lesser the area, larger the force and work will be easier. So this is example. Okay, so can you explain now why shoulder bags are provided with broad straps and not thin strap? Okay, I think you might be having shoulder bags. See, shoulder bags are not, see, if this is a bag, so shoulder bags will not have a small thread like this. They are provided with larger strap will be there. They are little larger here, larger like this. They are larger like this, and they are larger like this. But why they are in this way? Why? With broader straps and not with thin strap. They are very broad. They are not thin like this. They are not thin like this because if area of contact is larger in size, then the pressure is equal distributed, and the why tools meant for cutting and piercing always have sharp end. You should not understand why the tools like knife is there. Okay, different tools are putting holes, driller is there, drilling machine is there. Why they are having sharp end? Because the area of contact is smaller. So smaller the contact area, larger the force applied, so work will be easier. Okay, so this is about how the solids or sometimes gases exert pressure on the any surface. But whether the liquids exert pressure on the walls of container, we have to check it